What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Onset podcast, where we talk about all the ins and outs of the creative industry. If you're either starting out or if you're a bit of a veteran, we've got a little bit of insight and a little bit of tips and tricks for you. Today, we're talking about weddings. What's the deal with it? All the ins and outs, all the tips and tricks on either how to land weddings, how to build your client base, and how to end up growing as a creator in that industry. But first, just giving over to Steve. How you going, mate?
Hey mate, how you going? Of course I'm here. Hold on, let me just turn down my audio. It's just blowing up, so it's a little bit too loud for everyone there. It's probably sound like I'm shouting. So no,
everyone's just getting their eardrums just exploding at home. Just like, I've heard enough of Steve.
Everyone's head is just popped. No, mate, awesome to be here, and yeah, like you said, weddings is is such a big part of a photographer's like crucial kind of business. Really, I think when it comes to being a pro photographer or videographer in these days. So
It's one of those bridges that a lot of creators end up crossing into either do I step my toe into end up doing weddings or not. It's one of those things that I feel like every creator does come across that at one point in time. So being able to talk about it today as wedding photographers and videographers, we can end up talking about what's the deal with it, what's our insights and our 2 cents in the industry itself. So I'm really excited to talk about it.
yeah, it's a great topic, and I don't know if you want to start it, how to start taking, how to get weddings, how to get into that business. If it's through family and friends, I think that's probably the start. I would
say
that's
so.
where I started.
I would say so.
Same.
I remember I shot my sister's wedding when I was 18 years old off my phone. Did a video on a phone.
That's
I was
epic.
just there chilling with the photographers who've just been in the industry up in cans for ages, and they've already got their whole client base. They've been doing it for like a long period of time, super skilled, and I'm just there like little 18-year-old me just chilling along with my phone, just like, hey, can I just want to get that shot? And they're like, yeah, go for it. And I was just there.
Oh my god!
But that was it. And from that point, that was when I was like, hey, I love being a part of this day, being a part of this atmosphere. It's insane being able to all those intimate moments. It was a little bit weird, my sister, but it was good though. It was cool.
Intimate moments, but no, you're right though. You're right, mate. It's it is. It's so important. It's such an important day, and I think a lot of photographers that start off, they're thinking about the money and they're thinking about the opportunity and stuff like that, but they don't think about the actual stress that you're under over that day. A lot of people that aren't in the business, think it's well overcharged and it's too expensive and all this kind of stuff. But once you get into it, it's a really, really stressful moment throughout the day. You've got a lot of equipment that needs to function correctly, and you need to be on point to make sure it all works out really well, because you don't get another shot at it.
You don't. You can't just ask them midway through the vows, hey, can you just start from again? I wasn't recording. I'm sorry.
Oh
I hate
God.
to be that guy. But you're right. It's one of those things where it is a very long day. Like we're talking 10 hours long. And in those 10 hours, you don't get a lot of time and leeway just to be able to relax for a little bit because you're always shooting. That's the thing. It's one of those days, especially with like videography and same with photography, it's content's king and you want to try and capture every little thing, because even though you might have a preconceived idea of the story that you want to end up telling and those key important moments that you want to capture, you always want to have more content to be able to either for fillers or anything, because post, so many ideas come up in post, and it's one of those things that you want to have an abundance to be able to deal with that. So
that's it. Like mate, so let's run through from start to finish kind of the whole process. I think that's probably where a lot of our listeners are wanting to understand is how it all works. So say, okay, look, let's say that a bride and groom have touched base with you, and they've seen your website, they've seen that you've taken a few photos. Where do we go from there?
So pretty much what I would do personally is that you want to end up reaching out straight away. You don't want to end up just having a message just in your inbox for a few weeks, because if they've reached out to you, they've probably reached out to an abundance of other creators and photographers and everything like that. So first impression is super important. So
Yep.
even if it is just end up getting on the phone, giving them a bit of a follow-up call, getting to know them, and I would straight away from that lock in a time to catch up for coffee. So
Yeah.
then you get to actually meet the couple, the bride and the groom,
Yeah.
and actually be able to build up that personal kind of touch.
It is. And
Because a lot of
yeah. Oh,
good,
sorry, mate. Let me just jump in
no,
there. I think, yeah, you're right, mate. And that's the difference. A lot of, I think these days, a lot of people they move to try and moving too quickly, and it's more of a forceful thing where they just throw their quote at them and they say take it or leave it kind of thing. Where I'm sure, like, I'm married, and when I looked at all the different photographers around, we actually went for one that wasn't the dearest and might not have been the best, but we were very happy with our images. But it was because of how personal the photographer was. He came, he came all the way down to Sydney. It was a 4-hour drive. Came down to see us. That's going well beyond what we expected. We didn't expect him to do that. And that's, and I think, good start to it. Then, okay, so look, we've met with them. They want to lock in a package. That would obviously be the next step. Then where do
100%.
we go from there?
So from locking in that package,
Yeah.
yeah, so from that, as soon as you end up getting that fully sorted, you end up going through all your packages. Like for us, we've got the photography and videography bundles that we end up either seeing what's more personalized and more specific to exactly what they're after. And then
Yeah.
once we've ended up fully locking all that in, you need to get your contract sorted. It's one of those topics that a lot of creators like, oh, I don't really like it, or it can be a
Yeah.
bit confronting, but you need to,
Yes.
especially in today's age, to end up just getting all of just your basics. It doesn't have to be a crazy 28-page long
Yeah.
contract filled with everything. It
Yeah.
just needs to have the basics on it, the payments, all those
Yeah.
or like the venues, all those details that you need to end up getting signed off just to cover your back as a
Yeah.
creator.
Yep, definitely. And mate, like I think, what's covered in that package needs to be signed off. And also, to have those little aspects in there where, if there was something to go wrong, then you're covered. And obviously then
That's it.
your public liability insurance and all that kind of stuff. You're, like if it's these days, and especially with COVID as well, it's, you're taking all the precautions into fulfilling that contract and fulfilling, your obligations to that couple. So yeah, definitely, mate. I think
That's it.
that's
You need to keep your back covered.
yep,
That's it.
yep,
It's especially with all the things that could go either way, is
yep,
that you just need to make sure that you're covered. It's one of those business sides of things that a
yep,
lot of creators just end up getting overlooking and just want to get straight into
yep.
either getting that content, but it's like, nah, you need to cover your basis before you
Yeah.
go forward. So
Oh, and it's important to, like if you want to be able to use your images for marketing down the track. You've taken the images, the
100%,
great
that's another
images.
part.
That's the whole point of being able to push your marketing after when it's finished is that you want to be able to use those images and do that. So you put that into your contract, and you talk to them about it. And if it comes to a point where you'll get approval per image, even with the bride and groom, then put that into the contract. And these days, if you don't have a contract and someone books you, then they might actually think twice about it a little bit. Oh, is this person serious? Oh, this business is this a serious business, or do they just take it as a
It's
hobby?
just like a hobby.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's important to have that written up, and it's not hard to get a good template online, really, and it's just about filling it all out. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so they've locked in the contract. They're happy with the package. Um, deposit, would that be the next step?
Deposit. Yeah, I would say that that should be incorporated within the agreement though.
Yep, yep,
So if it, you can end up working out the percentage in which you want to end up going forward with
yep,
that, but the deposit just to lock in that day,
yeah,
because you, especially if you're pushing this industry and you're starting to get more and more clients,
yep,
you need to keep a track of that, and so that's fully locked in on that. So when they sign the paper, it's
yep,
either 14 days after they've signed it, so either just make that upfront deposit, and then you can end up discussing a payment plan after that.
yeah, yep. Definitely, it's important. Like, look, it's a tricky one at the moment with COVID and changes. But at the same time, you're locking out that day. When you get other
Mm,
businesses call up and say, "Hey, well, we want you for this photo shoot for this day," and it lands on that day, then
mm,
you say, "No, we're busy with that, with that wedding." So then you're
mm,
kind of giving up other work if it was to all fall through and so on. Anyway,
exactly.
that's a small part of it all. Okay,
Mm,
so we've got the deposits all done. We are now starting to get more information about the venue, the bride, the groom, the what kind of photos they want. That would be the next step. Would be
100%.
researching the venue a bit more.
Yeah. So research, massive. One thing that you just touch base on there, and being able to actually be able to find out what locations are nearby the venue for either photo shoots, video opportunities, the drone legislations, like the requirements with that. Is it a no-fly zone?
Yep,
How are you going to end up being able to work around that? Just be able to build a game plan for the day
yep,
in that.
yep. Definitely.
And as well as that, I would also say the biggest tip that I can make to any creator whatsoever is to follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up.
Yep.
Is that always be reaching out, not to the point where you're bombarding them with messages every second day, being like, "Hey, how you going? Just wondering." No, it's like catch up for coffee. If it's like once a month coming up to it, or so then you can end up being able to either touch base. Do they have any questions? Do
Yep.
they have any ideas that they want to suggest to you to be able to capture on that day?
Definitely.
So again, so you can just make it more personable to them. And
Yep.
then also they get to know you. They get to know your team,
Yep.
and what type of like strategies and plans you have going forward.
Yeah.
Because the number one thing is to be able to stand out to them, and to also make them have that feeling that you do care about the day, that it's not just another job, it's not just another shoot that you're doing, but you actually genuinely do care. And that's that personal touch that makes you stand out from a lot of creators. I've seen so many photographers along the way where they'll get that agreement form done, it's all signed, and they will maybe send like one message before the actual wedding day. Rock up, do the shoot, edit it, and then chuck it back. And I'm like, no, it's gonna be done so much better. Just reach out, get to know them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh, so important. So important, mate. I think um, that's the number one is being personal and being flexible as well. But yeah, I know your point with researching the venue is quite important. I know as shooting when shooting video, you're looking at where does the sun set. So you can shoot that
mm,
way. Then you're looking at the tech side of things when it comes to audio. Can you patch into a mixer for when it comes to the MC and the reception time? The celebrant, what's he using? Is he going to be using a wireless microphone, or are you going to put a lapel mic on him and so on?
mm,
So all those little things that are pretty important. You don't want to turn up on the day and be like, oh, where's a great place to take a photo? Like it's pretty average. So you're not planning. So that's the lead up. Then when it comes to the day, like let's talk about a full day package.
mm.
You've got obviously this getting ready and so on. You've got the bride getting ready, the groom getting ready. Like what I normally do is I obviously go and see the bride first, or just see where they're up to.
Yeah.
Depending on the time of the day as well. But Normally, I've noticed that the guys don't normally take too long to get ready.
And especially for camera shy, they do it real quick as
Yeah,
well.
they
They're
don't.
like, just spend some more time with the brides and that, and then you come back and they're like halfway doing their tie. And you're like,
Yeah,
no, no,
yeah, yeah.
just
Wait.
redo that. Just do it one more time. They're like,
Yep.
look at that eye roll. You're
Slow
like,
down.
okay,
Slow down.
fine.
Yeah. No, and it's a good laugh. It's a good moment to get to know the couple quite well, and you do. Once it's all said and done, you look back at those times, and it's hilarious how, there's
Mm,
it's quite stressful for them. You got to remember that.
that is true.
So it's good to have a bit of a laugh with them, as it gets
100%.
started. And then, like, obviously
100%.
we get those shots, we get that video of them getting ready, we set the scene kind of thing, and then we're off to the ceremony, obviously before the bride
Mm,
and groom arrive.
that is important. That is important. You don't want to be rocking up halfway through the vows, just setting up your equipment and then be like, hey, good to go, guys.
Oh geez, haven't even hit
It's
the
like,
record button yet, so no,
but
so
it is important. You want to get it fully set up, everyone mic'd up, everything, all those little details, being able to touch base with the celebrant.
yep.
And so, like, where's the signing off going to be? Just so you can end up getting just that little bit more information to be able to build your kind of game plan again with
Yep.
whereabouts you want to shoot, and like where you want to position the tripods and all those little things. So
Definitely, definitely. And then, obviously after the ceremony, you've captured all those, kind of shots and that, you need to capture stuff like, when the ring goes on the
mm,
finger, the first kiss, the announcement when they walk down the aisle, all that kind of stuff, the vows, obviously. But once
mm,
that's all caught and you've captured all that, and then you normally, like with my experience and with, I think with most weddings, is you go off and do a bit of a photo shoot with the
mm,
bride and groom and the both wedding parties. Um, that's in your experience with wedding parties, it can get pretty crazy, really. Like when you're looking at numbers.
100%. Especially when you're talking about you like a 5-on-5 either side, and plus them, you're talking 12 people all up that you've then got to try and like
Yeah,
choreograph, choreograph,
yeah,
choreograph,
that's
and
right
just like
though.
sort out, and then
Oh,
put that beard down. Just take a nice photo. Just give me 10 minutes.
yep,
It's like all those little things.
yep,
So, but once you do but in that you get so many awesome little shots and moments along the way because you got so many different characters amongst the parties,
oh yeah,
and then from that being able to then just pull the bride and groom aside, give them
yep,
some breathing time.
yeah,
The day is so packed for them, as of course it is for us, but for
yep,
them it's like non-stop, one thing after the other after the other.
yep,
Is that being able to dedicate that time for them, just have that time to themselves, just be able to relax a bit of breathing space.
yep.
And then in that, I feel like that's where you're going to end up capturing some of those like really true magical shots
Yeah,
with that.
that is, I
So,
think. Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head when you said that's that breathing space for everyone. That's for
mm,
for even for us. Like you get to slow down a little bit, and then it revs back up when you you head off to that reception. So,
that's it.
turning up to the reception, obviously, you're there again before the bride and groom get in there, and you're capturing that entrance. The whole wedding party coming in, getting announced by the MC. So obviously you've got your microphone set up on the MC, ready for that. And then you get into it, and you've got speeches, and then you've got the dance, and you've got the cutting of the cake, um, and so on. So, like, with my experience when it comes to weddings, you're looking at around that 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night finishing time. I think
Yeah,
that's always a good time to finish because it can get a bit loose after that. So,
that's it. That's when the drink starts to settle in a bit more with that open bar.
yep,
So
that's right.
it's like it's a nice little time just to duck off a little bit after that. So,
Yeah. So, mate,
but
like it is a long day if you think about it. If
it
you
is.
if you're starting at around that, if 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, finishing at 9, you're looking at
Mm,
10 hours of non-stop. It's like
yeah.
I know talking with bride and grooms around. Oh yeah, they said, oh, we'll feed you. We'll put a meal in front of you and stuff like that. And like a lot of the times I just said, no, don't worry about it, because
Mm,
really I don't have that much time. It's more, I'll just have a drink with me and quickly get that down and have a quick bite. But it's basically 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going again. So,
that's
um,
it. Especially with what we were saying before, content is king. You want
yep,
to capture as much of the day as possible because you don't want to be sitting in post and like, oh, we should just grab that shot. Oh, just got to go around and get it. The day's gone.
yep,
You can't.
yep.
That's why it's so important. Just better almost overshoot
Oh
on the
yeah,
day,
yep, yep.
just so then you have that, um, just that room to play with, especially in
That
post.
flexibility,
So,
yeah, yeah. And
100%.
like, look, geez, I'll tell you a little bit of a story. When I shot a wedding a few months ago, I hadn't shot photos at a wedding for a while, and I went up and I had that same mindset. I was like, I'm going to shoot everything, and at the end of the night, I was like, oh my god, my eye hurts, and it was because I've been bringing up the camera so quickly to my eye. I was bruised under my eye from taking so many photos. I think it was 6,000 photos, something crazy like
Yeah,
that. Um,
yeah.
and like from that, and that kind of leads us into post and editing and stuff like that. So, like, if you can imagine 6,000 photos to comb through and find the very
Mm,
best, there's a lot of time involved in doing that.
yeah,
I don't know this. I don't know if this episode's the right episode to talk about editing. I think that we can leave that for another episode.
yeah.
Yeah,
100%. There's so much to dive into when it comes to editing and post, and just being able to sort through all of the content that you have shot in the most seamless way possible. So then you're not spending those like extra 5, 6 hours just trying to find, oh, where else did I put that? Put like the ceremony stuff and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, it's super important, but it's a topic that I feel like is so massive that maybe episode three.
yeah. Maybe episode 3. We might be
Maybe
able to jump
episode
to it.
three.
Episode 3. Okay, let's lock that in. We'll lock it in. But
But as you said, it is a long day. It's, yeah, you might get to the venues at 10, 11, but it starts so much earlier than that as well, making sure all your equipment's right. It
oh
really
yeah,
does start the night before,
yep,
especially when you're just going through all your equipment, make sure everything's charged, SD cards are empty.
yep,
You've got, the drones, all the batteries, every single thing, all
yep,
these little things that you're like, oh no, it'll be right. Make sure it is, because you
yeah.
don't want to be rocking up to
Oh
the
god,
ceremony and be like, oh wait, where's the mic again? I
yeah,
swear I put it. I swear I put it in my bag.
yeah,
Oh, it's
yep,
on the desk at home.
yep.
Give me five.
You haven't charged your batteries. The one thing, and I nearly got caught out with, is charging my gimbal batteries. Like, that's
Oh,
the
that's
thing.
one.
Like,
That's
it's one
something.
of those ones that you can forget about. Like, you just, because they last forever, the gimbal batteries. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely something. Have you got a?
It's the one time it drops.
Yeah. Oh God. Jeez. And then the rest of the wedding's handheld. um, okay. So what? Have you got a? I know we do this. We did this in episode 1. A top tip.
Top tip.
Have you got one, or do you
Okay.
want me to give you one? To give everyone one?
I'll give one.
Okay.
I'll give them one. But then you give your own little top tip.
Okay.
Top
Yep.
tip.
I
Because it
won't.
might be a bit different. It
Okay.
might be a bit different.
Go for it.
Okay. Obviously preparation is key when it comes to weddings and all this type of thing, I guess. But the main thing is that it's super stressful and you're moving for the entire day and it's non-stop, back and forward, back and forward. But the main thing is throughout the whole day is have fun with it. There's so many tensions and everything like that. I get it. And if it is your first wedding, you may be nervous or maybe question yourself, but just relax, have fun, enjoy the day. And that's going to be so much more evident when people either look at you filming, and then also with your content as well. When you're a bit more relaxed, you're a little bit more open-minded, you'll be like, oh, maybe I'll try this. Or you might start to experiment a little bit more instead of just being there really like all tense up and then be like, okay, I need to get that shot. Okay, I need to get that shot. And being very regimented with it. I would say 100% just relax and just enjoy the day for what it is, because it is an amazing day. You're being a part of someone's special day. It's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and enjoy that, appreciate that. And when the bride and groom do see you going around shooting and interacting with people and that, it's going to help you stand out as well, because you're taking that extra step and trying to reach out to those other people as well. I feel like that's a real
Yeah,
important tip,
that's a great
especially
tip.
to anyone that's starting out. So,
Yep, yep. Oh, mate, I completely agree with you. I think my top tip is around just being like being organised, and when
mm,
you're just having not storyboarding, but just having your mindset that you're getting these shots. Like it's really important when it comes to a wedding that you have a mindset that I've got to get that shot, that shot, that shot.
mm,
You could even make notes the night before that, and read
mm,
over them. And yeah, that's probably my number one, just to make sure that you get the crucial shots. In and around that, we've got a lot of in the video world B-roll and slow motion and shots that you can use as filler. But to get those really important shots is what
mm,
you're there for. But at the same time, like Jordan said, just enjoy it because it's a lot of fun. The day goes very quickly. You might be
yeah,
there for 10, 12 hours, but it feels like only 1 or 2. So have fun with it, and you can make some friends for life with weddings, and you never know where it can go down the track. Like a lot of these people, they might have business or friends that are getting married. So
mm,
if you act professionally and take it very seriously, but also have fun with it. That's the most important thing my advice for anyone just starting off to shoot weddings. So that's about it.
mm. That's perfect. Great
Perfect.
tip.
Thanks, mate.
Great tip.
Awesome. Well, that will pretty much wrap us up, I think, for episode 2.
Episode 2 in the books.
Episode 2's in the book. So,
Lovely.
like if you want to tune in for episode 3, obviously we've got the subscribe button. Obviously across multiple platforms, with YouTube and streaming platforms, and we'll drop little snippets of Facebook and so on. But yeah, jump on that. And I don't know, like if you have any of your tips that you think that if you're a photographer or videographer and you have a really good tip for someone starting off in weddings, and drop that in below in the comments. But yeah, happy,
Perfect. That's good.
all good. Okay, well,
Awesome.
cheers everyone.
See, catch you guys. Have a fantastic rest of the day.
See you guys.